Like this person, anytime that you bring up anything to this person, they're always going to make you feel like you're overthinking. They're going to make you feel like you did something wrong. And that's a narcissistic quality right there. That's that, this gaslighting energy. Like whenever you bring up something like, whether it be, why don't you take me on dates? Why don't you show me love? Why aren't you showing up for me? Why aren't you doing this? Why aren't you doing that? They're making you feel like you're just nagging them. So they're making you feel bad about asking real questions. That's their way of keeping you under thumb. And like I said, carrying on down this road, you're going to get hurt. And the last thing a Cancer wants to do is get hurt. They don't want their heart broken. And you don't deserve to have your heart broken. This person doesn't deserve to be the one to break your heart. I just feel like with this person, like I said, you have a lot of questions and they don't have any answers. I feel like they need you, so they keep you around. And I don't like telling anybody that. I don't like giving these reads where this is what the read is, but I'm not going to sit here and bullshit you and tell you rainbows and butterflies are flying, and everything's going to be okay. And miraculously, this relationship's going to fix itself. I don't feel comfortable telling people that. I tell you what I see. And what I see is someone that doesn't deserve you. I don't feel like they're going to change. I feel like this person, they manipulate, they use, and they're draining you of your energy. They're draining you of your love. And like I said, it's like having $10,000 and throwing it down the drain, rather than just going and, taking the $10,000, renting yourself a nice suite with a nice jacuzzi. There's better things to do with your with your love. This person doesn't deserve an ounce of it. But like I said, it is complicated, and it can be complicated, especially when this person, I don't feel like they're walking away. Like there's this hot and cold energy, there's in and out, but they're not out. So it's giving you a false sense of hope. I just feel like this person is just looking for the next one to dig their claws into, and when they find it, they won't even give it a second thought. Like I said, I feel like once you see this person for who they are,